This is the new MachineArt Moto Advance handguards for the BMW R1200 GS. They make this stuff for all kinds of bikes. Off the top of my head, Honda, BMW, I want to say KTM and Husqvarna, all kinds of stuff they make these for with small changes to make it fit for that brand. For example, the F750 GS I have behind me requires you have a bar riser in place for this to work, etc., etc. I already have these on my GS, so why do we have a brand new pair? Well, I started receiving a lot of comments on my blog about a change to plastic, and I was like, that's weird, because if I remember correctly, this is kind of a plasticky, and this is a aluminum. And I'll put a picture here. I'll put a picture over here, overlay, showing you guys when I had a crash in Trans-Labrador Highway on dirt around 45 miles an hour. I had this piece right here crack, right with the aluminum. Just a nice clean crack right there. I'll put a picture up. But it doesn't matter that it cracked, because it saved my brake lever. So to me, these did their job, right? And I just bought a new frame from them for, I think, $100 or something, and I was back up and running at the end of the trip, no problem. So I definitely can understand why aluminum, especially with a 700, 800 pound bike, or 1,000 with a person and luggage on it, can have a problem. So I started having comments from potential customers telling me they weren't going to buy these anymore because of the change to nylon. So I emailed MachineArt Moto and I asked them, hey, what's going on with these things? So I'm going to read it back to you guys. I'll put it over the screen here, and you guys can pause it and read it. But basically, we've moved on to nylon. You might assume metal is stronger than plastic, but plastic flexes slightly in the process of absorbing impact forces, and metal breaks, just like what happened to me, for example. So they've actually have a new material. It's an alternate material. It's replacing the former cast aluminum version. So what we have here is a new nylon injection molded frame. It won't break, or it probably won't break, versus the old aluminum. And the surface will scrape, but not actually damage. It's the same composite that's used in the X-head cylinder head guards, which I've crashed on road before, and they were awesome. And so super strong stuff. And I tell many people that are GS street riders that all they need is the X-heads. They don't need crash bars. So let's look at these things. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to check these out. And we're going to, here's the instructions. I'm going to take you guys right over to Matt in a second, who is going to show us what the old guards look like, because my bike isn't here. It's actually over in New York. But we'll do an install video separately. This is just a side-by-side. Your new Advance handguard from MachineArt Moto. Weight, feels like it's about half the weight of the old model. They're right. Totally plastic feel, but it feels identical to what the X-heads feel like, which is their cylinder head guards for the Boxer GSs. Looks identical. I'm going to bend this against my body here. Oh yeah, it flexes. It does flex. And a lot of you, I think, would have the exact same feedback that I'm about to shout out loud. Oh, they did something here. They actually, that seems like that's a new rivet designed to hold the wind guard in. Maybe I'm wrong. The feedback I would have as a person who doesn't know materials is that the reason why the design popularized by Barkbusters is so huge is because no matter what happens to your plastic, you've got this aluminum frame that can still absorb the impact. Plastic cheap to replace, the metal pretty much withstands the life of the bike. But this is just plastic. This Storm Guard from Barkbusters is just plastic. And I'm in the truest sense of the word plastic. It cracks, it's brittle. It's $24 to replace just plastic. Yeah, the best way to put it. There's nothing fancy about this that I've heard of. These break off, no problem, no big deal, just replace it, but your levers are safe, obviously. Whereas the case of the design flaw of the old Advance handguards was that you had no aluminum shell that was behind the plastic, or you did have an aluminum shell behind the plastic, but your whole thing was aluminum. And so when you had a massive impact, this was very likely to crack, or this is likely to crack. Again, I'll show you that picture here. It's the way it cracked for me. So even though it was aluminum and it felt stronger, it also was brittle and would break, whereas the plastic will bend. And all I can say about this being a non-material person is that if you look at, I wish I could show you guys right now, if you look at the X heads that go on the GS, the 1200 and 1250 GS boxer cylinder heads, that's made from this exact same material. The stuff is incredibly strong. You know, it does bend, it does deform, but it doesn't crack or break, and it has a really nice abrasion resistance, meaning that I've slid 40 feet on one of those things into a guardrail, and it definitely ate away at the texture, but it never went through the guard. What I will say, time will tell, right? I'm incredibly hard on my hand guards. I hit trees with them. I drop the bike on these things all the time. My metal advanced hand guards are very dinged up and scratched. So my opinion is that these are going to take a massive beating versus my old aluminum models. And we'll see if at the end of this season, if these are in better shape after 10, 15,000 miles versus the aluminum X heads that I had before. Sorry, advanced hand guards. These are going interchangeable for me, but here's the inside here. No doubt that eBay is going to try quickly to rip these off. I will caution you guys, if you're buying this kind of stuff on eBay, you know, not only are you stealing money from the companies that invented this stuff, it has patents on it, huge infringement on patents out of China, but also I can't guarantee you that the material you're going to get from China isn't going to be just, quote, dumb plastic, as opposed to this this molded nylon. If you look really closely, you can kind of see the details in here and how it almost looks 3D printed. It feels good. It feels premium. I think my last, again, this is me being skeptical, the last thing I'm going to mention for the benefit of people that watch these videos is that I feel as if it's a lot to ask someone to pay the $249 when everything in your heart tells you this is a downgrade. You know, why would I pay the same amount of money for a lesser material? Plastic's cheap. Anyone can make plastic. I'm putting my devil's advocate hat on here. Yes, but again, back to those X heads. I can't judge this product until I've literally beat the crap out of it, like I do with all my GS bikes, and prove to myself that this is or is not inferior. As for should you buy it, you know, there's a 1-year warranty. I've gone beyond the warranty, and MachineArt Moto has still replaced stuff for me. So, you know, I'm putting my time, money, effort, and the fate of my expensive BMW levers in the hands of this nylon, and I have no fears that you shouldn't be able to do that as well. This is dirty from my table. You know, it's a nice kit. It does flex, it does bend. I think that it's going to do as well as the aluminum, and it won't be as brittle, but only time will tell. We're going to stop here because this is not an install video. We're going to cut over to Matt, BB8, and we're going to have him show off the aluminum version. It's currently on my bike, which is up on blocks. And yeah, take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Adam. Well, we're over here at North Wheels Garage. And, these are the hand guards. It's all aluminum, cast aluminum, all the way up through here. Cast aluminum mount. Right there. Easy adjustment turn knobs. Alright, there you go, now I'll stay up. Honestly, can't stand cast aluminum. Can't break it, can't re-weld if it breaks. I'd rather have the plastic myself. Because if you had the plastic and it does crack and you wanted to buy some ridiculously expensive high-end automotive epoxy, you can put it back together.